In this video, I'm gonna rank what, in my opinion, are the 10 best 4 stars in the game that you should definitely build. Also, only a small percentage of my viewers are actually subscribed, so if you enjoy or end up finding the video helpful, subscribe because it's free and you can always change your mind. At number 10 we have Yun-san. First of all, she can hold 4-piece scroll, which is the best set in the game, and give 40% damage bonus to an element plus electro with 100% uptime. And her cons are great, with C2 further buffing attack and C6 buffing damage percent. But her main buff is a flat attack buff which scales off of the active character's movement. This encourages movement unlike Bennett's Circle Impact, but there is a caveat. Although she is a decent option with most attack scaling units, only characters that can move a lot, like Natlan DPSs or Plunge DPSs, make use of her buffs the best. She is especially appreciated by characters like Varessa, Mawika, Kanich, Lorraine, Zhao, Gaming, etc. She can give a pretty big attack buff. The reason she's so low is that even with those characters, she's quite replaceable and generally not best in slot. Without mobile characters, her attack buff really falls off and she's just a scroll bot. Not everyone has Natlan DPSs. Nonetheless, she is worth building. At number 10 we have Sucrose. Sucrose is probably the best 4-star VV user. She can swirl easily and even swirl from off field. But what makes her stand out is her EM buff. 20% of her total EM, which is around 150 on average, is really helpful in so many different reaction-based teams. Apart from this, she is a great TTDS holder. She can also be used as an on-field driver in electrocharge teams. She gives everything that a good DPS needs. Attack percent from throwing tails, 40% rush shred from 4-piece Veritas and Venerer, and a sizable EM buff. In addition to this, her C6 provides a 20% extra damage bonus. She helps the biggest multiplicator reactions in the game, Vape and Mount. Mawika, Hu Tao, Mulani, all can make use of Sucrose really well. Even in Dendro teams, she is a staple. The reason that she's so low is that she isn't really that comfortable to play and is usually replaced by Kazuha in many of her teams. Her crowd control isn't great either, but she's extremely valuable in Aggravate, Hyperbloom, Electrocharge or Taser teams, Vaporize teams, and Melt teams. At number 9 we have Lanyan. Lanyan is an amazing 4-star shielder. Why? Well, even at C0, she can hold 4-piece VV and consistently proc it. She's the only Anemo shielder in the entire game. And moreover, being Catalyst, she can hold TTDS to give a huge attack buff. Her shield is really tanky with only a 3-second downtime, and you don't even need to build any energy recharge. Her shield can be infused by any swirlable element, which makes it 250% better against said element. This is very useful against bosses like the Tulpa. Her constellations are amazing. C2 makes her shield immortal, as it regens every time you normal attack. This becomes the second best shield in the game, even with TTDS. Her C4 gives a nice 60 EM buff. Overall, she combines 4-piece VV, throwing tails, and a really tanky shield into one unit which so many different teams appreciate. Many of the best DPSs like Neuvillette, Alec Keener, Hu Tao, Gan Yu, all really value shields, and Lanyan is probably the best 4-star option. Number 7 on this list is C6 Gaming. I might be a bit biased here, since without his C6 he most likely wouldn't even be on this list. But at C6 he is undoubtedly the best 4-star main DPS in the game and is genuinely worth investing into. He uses his elemental skill along with Manchai to perform enhanced plunging attacks. His playstyle is really fun, and with the right supports he can do massive damage and consistently vape all his plunges or even melt using Solali. He's really fun to play. He has great 4-star weapon options, and with 4-piece Marechaussee or Crimson Witch is fairly easy to build. Even at C0 he's a perfectly good unit, but with his constellations he begins to out-DPS many other 5-star options, even Zhao. Overall, you should build him, especially if you have Farina and Jian Yun. But even without them, and his 4-star team, he is still the best 4-star DPS. Number 6 we have Kuki Shinobu. Hyperbloom even today I feel is one of the best reactions in the game, and she is the queen of it. She's the best and only good 4-star Hyperbloomer. She's very easy to build, just stack as much EM as you can, and boom, she does amazing dendro damage. She even out DPS's the on-field character and sometimes. Her EM scaling heals also make her a very comfortable unit to play, as they keep your team alive and offset Furina's HP drain. You can also run TOTM to buff your damage. She's a staple in all Hyperbloom teams. Nahida, Xingqiu, Kuki Shinobu, and a Flex slot is still one of the best team archetypes and can clear all content while being satisfying to play. She doesn't need to build ER. One more thing that I like about Hyperbloom is that it doesn't need premium support such as Kazuha, Zelonin, or Bennett to work, who you can throw on the other side. At number 5 we have Traverse. Overload used to be an absolutely useless reaction before she came out. Now it is extremely competitive and she's the reason. Some people say that she's only good at C6, but that's completely false. Even at C0, the 40% rest shred for both Pyro and Electro, along with the 40% attack buff from her E4 passive, completely transformed this reaction. Plus, she also holds Noblesse or a Song of Days Past for even more buffs. Her buffs are much easier to trigger than something like Double Swirling, for example, as you have 100% uptime, with the only condition being that you proc Overload. This works on enemies even with the most innate auras. But see, with her C6, Traverse becomes an even more broken unit. And also, she's somewhat low investment. She only cares about HP main stats, a bit of ER, and Favonius Lance. There are so many good Pyro, Electro, on and off field fielders, and she makes the reaction between them absolutely pop off. Like Mawika, fischl, Yai, Varessa, Cloran, Raiden. The reason why she is this high as the units before her are somewhat replaceable. An overload without Traverse simply doesn't exist. Number 4 we have fischl. She is easily one of the best off-field damage dealers in the game. She summons Oz, who does tons of amounts of damage and applies a lot of Electro. Apart from damage, Oz is one of the best batteries in the game. It generates a lot of particles which fixes energy issues, even if your on-field character isn't Electro. It's easy to maintain at least 90% uptime in most teams. Oz is amazing for breaking enemy shields or filling up Nightfall bars. Her ER requirements are low, and all you need to do is press E and swap out for damage. She slots in wherever you need a flex character. Her Electro application is staple in many Dendro spread and aggravate teams, in overload teams, etc. But the best thing about fischl is that her skill snapshots. Just E/Q inside Benny's circle. And it might not seem like a bunch of damage, but that constant like 20k, 25k per tick Electro damage that you see adds up over time, and constitutes like on average 25% of teams' damage even in hyper carry teams. So fischl is a broken character, you should build her, there's no reason not to. And yeah, I'm sure y'all can guess the top 3, Xingqiu, Zhangling, and Bennett. At number 3 we have Xingqiu. Xingqiu is another off-field damage dealer, and nobody in the entire game applies as much Hydro as he does. And his Hydro application also comes with a lot of damage from his rain swords. This is extremely necessary in so many vape teams. I like Kino, Hu Tao, Yoimiya, Dilu, Klee, Gaming, you name it. Even in Hyperboom teams, he's great and allows you to produce so many balls. Not just that, but he's also a good 4-star option for budget freeze comps. His burst has an amazing uptime and his skill generates a lot of particles. With some cons or Sacrificial Sword, his ER requirements are easy to hit. His damage should not be overlooked. It just keeps pounding the enemy every single time you normal attack. Apart from this, he offers damage mitigation, interruption resistance, and even some small amounts of healing. He basically has no cons, and I'm sure you have him built, right? At number 2 we have Zhangling. Y'all already know about Zhangling. She has Guoba, who does a little bit of damage and applies Pyro, But her burst Pyronado is crazy. It snapshots all the buffs that are pre-applied to it, and with her C4 it has a great uptime. But the main thing is that it has no ICD. That means you can proc Vape or Overload or any reaction on every single hit, and this hits like a truck. In Raiden teams, she out DPS's Raiden. She just does way too much damage, even without having to rely on reactions. Her burst has underrated AoE, and it is the fastest pyro application in the game and facilitates so many melt/vape teams. Ridley, Ganyu, Nevilet, Ben Vape, etc. Child International, they're all impossible without her. And her best weapon choice? Completely free fishable weapon. But she does have two cons that I would like to point out. In some teams, her energy recharge needs are extremely high, which might kill your damage. Also, without Bennett, she really falls Number off. 1, I'm sure y'all would have guessed the character by now. It is Bennett. He is still insanely broken. There's a reason why every team comp, every DPS, every video we watch, every Spiral Abyss clear, he's just there. He just gives you a free 1200 flat attack buff with almost 100% uptime and also holds Noblesse Oblige. Literally any attack skiller needs him on the team for damage. The difference he makes is just insane. He batteries Zhangling, and they get big heals every second. Good for fanfare stacks. Now his kit is so basic, he just buffs attacks and heals, but that attack buff, way too valuable. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I know this video was like really low effort, but when Skirt comes out, I will make a lot of videos on her, and those will be much better quality. Thank you.